Today we got a young lady in here. She already started on me. Her name is Ashante Files. She's our special guest today. She's a poet. I read a couple real quick. They seem nice, even though she attacked me early. But hey, we got Tiger in the house, and we got number one, Lady Heather B. She's doing all type of multi-faction things, and she stay on the move. But I like to get straight to the point. I ain't gonna jig and jive and waste y'all time today. So Miss Files, introduce yourself to the people that are listening.
Hello, wonderful listeners. My name is Ashante Files, and I'm actually a nurse by trade. I'm a registered nurse here in the state of Illinois and at one time in Iowa. I am a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm a writer. So, excuse my voice, I have a cold. Recently, I just published my first book of poetry. It's called Woven, Perspectives of a Black Woman. And Heather has been so gracious as to invite me here today to talk about the book as well as some things going on in the community.
Yes. Yeah, she came in and bought one book. She bought one book to Heather.
Don't do that.
I'm just joking.
That's my guess.
Listen, I joke a lot, so if I offend you, I apologize.
Don't do that.
See, only Heather got offended as usual. Well, like I said, she only bought one book for Heather. We're going to get ours later, I guess. Me and Tiger always get left out.
I mean, there's some deep things in there from the conscious mind of a black woman. You got to be ready for it.
You got like God is Nice and a Pimp, Eddie Ruffin and Temptation, Eddie... What is David Ruffin and Temptation?
You get him in the driver's seat and you get the acting all crazy. Dang.
I'm bringing life to the show.
Oh wow.
Shots fired. No.
Yes.
But okay, you a nurse. How long you been a nurse?
I've been a nurse since 2014, so it's been a few years.
That's a great feat. We need a lot of sisters out there take care of. So do you like the nursing field?
I absolutely love it. It actually wasn't my first career. I come from a long line of nurses. I'm 5th generation nurse, actually.
Oh, wow.
And so as a kid, I was always told you're going to be a nurse.
Oh.
And so, of course, when it was time for me to go to college, I got a degree in political science. And so it took me a little bit of time being out there in the business world to say, maybe Grandma was right about that nursing thing. So I went back to school with 2 children and a husband, finished my first semester pregnant, and I got it done.
Amen.
So everybody, you got it, you can get it done.
All it do is take hard work and dedication. You put your mind to it, that's great. That's great.
People call you crazy. Sometimes you got to be crazy.
So you've seen a lot in the nursing field, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you went to school here, or I know you mentioned something about Iowa somewhere.
Yes, I've moved around a bit for the past couple of years. I got a bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois in political science. Got pregnant. I got married first, and then I got pregnant. Ladies know that's important. And then my husband, we moved to Iowa for his career, and then came back to Illinois.
Oh, okay, that was great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. You follow your husband. You know what I mean? Y'all led each other down that path.
Yes,
we
can talk about being an obedient wife.
Yeah.
And we can talk about. I told you I'm here to talk.
Explain a couple things about being an obedient wife. I want to know.
Well, remember the Bible don't tell women to go find a man. The man's supposed to find you. So when you find us, you must know that we are a gem. And when we know that you valuable, it's nothing we wouldn't give to you, do for you easily. Following a true leader who has my best interests at heart, it makes sense for me to be obedient. But when you talk about a disobedient woman, you have to look at her man and say, what is he doing to bring that out in her?
Oh, wow.
Facts.
I've had some lessons in obedience because I was disobedient, and then when I became obedient, my life got a lot easier.
All right.
Yeah. You found your king, that's all.
He is my king.
That's true saying. So I just wanted to add something on today. So you say every great man make a great woman?
I'm saying a great man and a great woman together can only produce greatness.
See, I can't get one by you at all. I see. I like that. That's true.
All right.
That's good. You good. You got a good guess. They're going to be fine. She started off with it.
It's that political science degree,
So what actually go with that political science? Explain some of that to us.
Well, it just means I pretty much like to argue. And I joke around that political science isn't a degree that gives you a skill. It's not like engineering or nursing or plumbing or, bricklaying. You don't come out with this skill except on how to talk your way in and out of things. So it has talked me into most careers, and it has talked me out of some. So it's very versatile.
You did a lot of debating that while you was doing that?
Yes.
Okay. So you really good with your patience then, because you know how to talk. Like you say, you got great communication skills.
I do, and I think the most important way to communicate is by meeting people where they are. Ain't no point in me throwing out all these big words to a professor would understand if you can't connect to the person that's right in front of you.
Speak to your crowd.
So and I think God blessed me with how to do that, which is why I'm a poet.
Great. Yes, great. This is your first book, right?
This is my first book. I started writing poetry as a kid. I was real anxious. You know, your mama, sit down and you be, and she ain't touched you. I was one of those kids. And she was like, you need to cut this out and write your feelings down. So I was very young. I was like 7 or 8, and I started writing. I'm like, I'm going to write poetry, and everything rhymed. And then as I got older, you know, my mom always said I was good, but she's like, you should enter some competitions. So my poem got selected for a compilation produced by the, what is it called? The National Library of Congress.
Okay.
And so and I was just like, whoa, that's such a big deal. Forgot all about it. Came to college, and I was at the Union one day, and they were doing this poetry set, and people were just reading words off the paper. I'm like, this ain't no poetry set. We need to have a slam.
Yeah.
So we had a slam, and they invited some other schools, and I ended up taking second place in the regional for our region. So UNI sent me to St. Louis to continue to perform. But it's like, once I got married and had kids, I kind of lost that part of yourself. I sacrificed that part of my identity to be a better mom and a wife. Yes. You know? Yes. And I'm back, baby.
All right, back.
So you really didn't sing, you just put it on hold for a second, that's all.
You know what? Honestly, God calls me to do it. Because, you know, sometimes you put something on hold, but it still be there. I was always writing. I've never stopped writing since that first journal. And so, I just realized I was good at it.
Yeah, so you just had to go somewhere else and get back on that path.
Yeah.
You know, take all different type of roads to get where you want to be.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? No, you keep that direction you're going now.
Yeah.
There's many ways to go north and south.
I agree.
Yeah. So explain a little more to us about love. As you said, no, I'm gonna be bouncing all over.
Don't be taking all the good stuff right now. Yeah, dang, like
you should lay behind the mic.
You finna
they let the wrong brother behind the door.
All of it in 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna slow down.
Slow down.
My boss says slow down.
Dang.
She about to
Can
find
I get the water, please?
No, you slow down.
What? Oh.
She got an afro puff out today.
I know.
It's so big.
I got a question. I like this book here. I like this poetry book. It's dealing a lot with feelings and emotions. I guess we want to talk about what inspired you.
Okay, so
what really triggered you. So then we get deep off into it.
Yeah. Well, as a kid, it started out as anxiety. Like, I didn't have a bad life, but I was just always a nervous kid. My mama like, can't have no nervous ass kids, you know. Go write your feelings down. And I really took to it. And so, you know how people used to say, Dear Diary. I never was a Dear Diary. I was a journaler. And there were times when I didn't want to say my day was crap today. It came out in some other fashion, and it was poetry.
All right.
I won my first poetry contest in 3rd or 4th grade. And I just wanted to read the poem with the sheet of paper, and my aunt, who's quite theatrical, said, you don't just read the words, you make people feel them. And that's something I've never forgotten.
Yes.
And that's how I won that competition. And it's like, so I was writing, I performed, and then I started writing. And then I got introduced with slam poetry, and it married those two worlds for me.
All right. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You mentioned slam poetry twice. What is slam poetry? I don't know.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. Slam poetry has been somewhat forgotten. It started out, some people say in Chicago, some people say in New York, you know how that goes. And slam poetry uses voice and tone and expressions and being loud and being soft and being tense and stopping, breathing. Slam poetry is not just reading something word for word, it's making your audience feel every single word said and not said.
Oh, wow.
It is just, it's amazing marriage. It's a wonderful scene.
Can we see a little bit of it?
Absolutely. I don't want to lose my voice, okay?
The energy in here is wonderful. I just,
Well, she
I just want to
she
say
just described
the
slam
energy
poetry.
is
I thought it was
great.
nothing. Let me keep my when she described slam poetry, it's like the sexual part of poetry.
No,
What
but
is it?
slam poetry can have sexual parts. All poetry.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, you got like the smooth side, the R&B side, so it's like the Jodeci of poetry. You know, because when Jodeci came to R&B, Jodeci changed. They brought that roughneck, cool, sexy. I'm just saying, so that was slam. You know what I mean? I said it wrong by sexy, but they brought all a different atmosphere to the poetry game.
I got you.
That was slam poetry is. That's
Yeah.
I might like slam poetry. I might listen to it.
Let's see
Okay.
one. You got one here. You wanna?
Well, I see you looking at my life, and so I
yeah.
can perform that for you.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
forgive me for my
remember I
voice.
said-
Am I close enough?
Oh, you want that one? I like that one.
You like inside?
It's deep too, man.
Oh, I'll save
I
that one
can
for
hear
you.
you.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. All right.
Yep.
This one is called My Life, and it's from my book of poetry, Woven Perspectives of a Black Woman. My coffee cup is empty, but my mind is too full. I need a sleeping pill to feel gravity's pull. I am floating above the stars and the sky, and then I fall. I am going to die. Yellow flowers and coffee cups, textbooks and empty pens. Is this my life? Summed up in the blank pages of an unwritten song, the blank pages of a cry too long, the blank pages of a poem never said, the blank pages of a man in my bed. Is this my life? I stand in line and wait for a mocha. I stand in line and fill a quota minority somebody needs. I stand in line of American dreamers waiting for the chance to succeed. Is this my life? No time to call my brother and say hello. No time to stop and see the flowers grow. I'm late. I can't go to the grocery store or to dinner or to movies. I have no time to breathe. My race for success is slowly strangling me. Money before family, family before friends, friends before love. Does it ever end? Is this my life? I walk, I run, I struggle to live. Lines on my face show offenses that I cannot forgive. It's hot, it's cold, it needs to be warm. Like my blood, like my sweat, like my tears. Who knew that a blank page can make me relive all my fears? My coffee cup is empty, but my mind is too full. My body resists the gravitational pull of time. Damn, was that my life?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what?
Ooh, man, we get hot in here. It's hot in here.
It was already hot.
Nah, it got- nah,
No,
it's about
that
hot,
was
man.
wonderful.
I like
Very, very
That was
wonderful.
great.
That poem. What's
we might
that?
have to
What's that
slide
poem? Was,
it down a little
Too
bit.
loud.
Yeah,
happened?
because
Okay.
it's in
Okay.
the or
Let's
whatever.
she got to break that
Right
poem
there,
down
and
for
then
us,
the
man.
other
I
one.
like that. I've read it right quick, and I was reading it. And I was reading 3 other ones, but what's going on with that? I got something.
Okay.
Okay.
I wrote that
Wonderful.
when I was in college, and I'm in the dorm. I'm doing everything right. And it's like my junior year. This is the year I met my husband. And I'm just like, is this it? Like, I'm going to go through all this work to get this degree. Like, this is my life. I could die tomorrow and I wouldn't have anything to show for it. So that's why I say my coffee cup is empty, because I'm studying, but my mind is too full. I'm not sleeping at night, so I need a sleeping pill to feel gravity, because I feel like I'm not even on this earth. I'm just a robot going through something that I'm expected to do. And so I wrote about it. It's like, I don't have time to do things everybody else is doing because I cannot fail at this. Yeah, so I wrote that in college.
That's wonderful.
Deep.
get
Oh,
one of them
deep.
books.
I love poetry.
Wait till you
Me
see.
too.
Wait till you
I
read
love
on
poetry.
man.
I didn't
Oh!
I just read that one.
I
yeah,
love poetry. I am
Read
very
that
much a poet myself. I found poetry once my stepmother introduced it to me, and I didn't let up. I rhymed, I didn't rhyme, it was short, it was long, simple, complex, so I really had a voice, and I loved it, and I still love it to this day. But I just started now kind of getting on stage and speaking it out and stuff. But can you explain to me how sometimes you might get on the stage, but your audience might not understand every single thing that you're explaining to them? You know, it like goes over their head, and you're like, oh my gosh, but you just keep on going. Explain to us.
The first time I bombed. An important practice for me is always showing up early. I could be the last person on the docket. I can be the second person on the docket. I will be there early as people fill in. I listen to what they're saying. I'm sensing their aura. I'm feeling the environment. I'm looking at their age. I'm looking at the way they dressed. I'm looking at their hair. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking in my mind, they might dig this one. They might dig this one. They might dig this one.
So you draw off your crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's good.
Because when I'm writing, it just flows through me. So I write about different things. And I look at my audience to say, what could I have written about that they can relate to?
Yeah, you did say you talk towards the crowd you're dealing with. Yeah, that's good. I want you think all poets do that?
No.
I never heard of poets talk like that.
Some poets, I mean, when you hear poets, you think of like a 14th century old dead white guy. Or what do they tell you? Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou. But who's going to be our great poet?
Right.
Who's going to speak the voice of the black woman?
Yes.
Of our generation.
Still speaking it though.
Maya Angelou is a queen that has captured generations. Mama Maya is gone. We are growing up in this. Who will represent our voice?
Right. Yes.
Well, it sounds like you can do it. No, I'm
Thank you
serious.
so much.
No, I'm serious. Like, you really can do it.
I'm really humbled by this.
Yeah, because you got to drive, you got to...
I like how, the rhythm and the flow, and you do have to make your audience feel your words. I know one time I did a poem about the beginning to a crowd that is probably not even used to any of the poetry itself. They were probably just there, So once I started, really getting into it, using my hands, that type of thing, and actually, slowing down and picking it up and stuff like that, they still, it just went over their head.
Well, I performed at an open mic event, and it was family friendly, and I did one about the middle class. And I got no hand claps, not even the polite ones. And so I got off the stage. I'm like, wow, this is how it feels to bomb. I haven't bombed before. And then my husband, because he brought the kids out and he was there to support me, and on the way home, he said, they wasn't ready.
Never said that. Wow. You can go with people's heads, a lot of stuff.
That's what he said. And that poem is called Middle Class.
Okay.
It's not in my book, but I'm going to search my phone and see if I can find it for you.
Yeah, you can just bust your poems out all day.
Look at you.
She doing a good job.
But I really do. I really do like going to the actual Soul on Sunday that we have.
Love Soul on Sunday. I don't know if we could promote stuff.
Well, it's not really. He's not selling anything. So yeah, we do have like underwriters that we can actually promote them in their business. But so on Sunday it's an actual like event, so we don't have to worry about anything. So we can sing. Yeah.
Might go talk again.
But I found the poem if you want.
Yes, another poem, you guys, from Miss Ashanti Files.
This one is called Middle Class. This is the poem that I bombed, but it's possible that the audience wasn't ready for. I'm living that liberal life, coffee topped off with whipped cream and little dots of nutmeg spice. I have moment of strife, but that's hashtag first world problems. And with my college degree, I have the intellect to solve them. Toting black girl magic, making sure I'm just black enough. Remembering to put on my white voice when the going gets tough so that others don't view me as a threat. This middle class life is as good as it gets. Double consciousness lets me walk a fine line. Being grateful for what I have, only complaining sometimes, and only about things that are completely within my control. I fight the just cause, and when it's time to sleep, I roll into my pillow top mattress with 200 thread count sheets. I'm living the life of a liberal puppy, wanting someone to free me from student loan debt, making just enough money to forget that I was once the proletariat, and now I'm supposed to be strive to be bourgeoisie. The Democrats haven't earned our vote in damn near half a century, standing up with immigrants because it's expected of me, covering up my eyes, bird box to how I also see how black men are underemployed, how black girls are still playthings to be toyed with emotionally and physically, living up to the expectations that others have of me. My hair can be natural but never unkempt. My clothes can be radical even if I overspent on the one brand that is now the new thing. This middle class life is currently trending, along with memes of how that kicker missed the goal, the ball flew straight but hit the pole, and now I'm hitting the goal of duality. America's enough to denounce Trump's name, American enough to blame the poor working conditions, American enough to sign desirable petitions saying free Centoya Brown, American enough to frown at an article about American children starving. As I sit down to a home-cooked meal, we speak as expected about the ordeal and then binge watch our favorite TV show. I'm American enough to know how this goes and the roles that I'm expected to play. I'm American enough to know that at the end of the day, this system is what keeps me engaged, making just enough to be better than them, making less enough to not want Republicans to win another election. The selection process is tainted. We put a couple of women in office so now we can add a blanket to our pillow top mattress and feel like we've moved a fucking mountain. Hooray! There aren't any more colored-only fountains, just whole towns where you're expected to keep moving along. Teach our children that bullying is wrong, although the whole world knows it is how you learn to deal with power. Intimidation is the mainstream manifestation of the contemplation that you need to be more, that you need to take your place in a world. Otherwise, what's all this bullshit for? If I can't drop a few cents in a homeless woman's cup, roll up my windows and quickly drive away, smiling, knowing that I did a good deed that day when I didn't have made a dent. This middle class life will have you hating the fact that you spent 7 years in college to get 2 degrees and still struggle sometimes to get necessities, to go to church every now and then get anointed, forgetting that the church serves as a poignant example of the haves and the have-nots. Drop a few dollars in that collection plate for those sleeping in the basement cots because they lost everything. They can hear us shouting, "Let freedom ring," because we elected that black guy to the highest office while putting our babies into tiny coffins because healthcare is just too expensive. We can't afford quality and defenses to protect our middle class way of life. To look at someone's misfortune and just say that I'm lucky, and that thought perpetuates the system. 401k is adding up because my generation cannot depend on the government to bail me out. Baby boomers are the only ones who can tout that this country is, was, and will be a great nation. I drink my coffee in silent contemplation, enjoying my middle class life.
Ooh, that
wonderful.
Was you can't say that poem to the unconscious minds.
Wonderful.
You know, I thought poets were intellectuals.
No. Because you can't. I know you gotta be joking. Because you just said nah.
That'll go over a lot of people's heads.
Went over your head.
I'm ready to talk about it.
I'm done with you.
See, I can't even joke. See, I can't even joke with having. You right though. You right. That go a lot. You know, if you don't understand what you were saying, I especially like the part about the Democrats.
It's the truth.
You need more
There
people
was
like
a
you.
lot
You need
of
more people
truth
like you
in
out there
it.
speaking the truth.
Yes, because
Yes.
Republicans know we won't vote for them. They have none of our interests at heart. Democrats have a few, and no, we'll vote Republican. So they don't really have to please us anymore.
Wow.
Democrats don't do that. We've been voting Democrat for the last 100-some years. They ain't did nothing so.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. It really is.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I thought we were supposed to be voting for the Republicans.
I'm voting
So
for
important.
Bernie Sanders if he lives to make his comeback.
Yeah, if
Hey,
he lives
yeah.
is the question. Yeah.
I love Bernie Sanders.
Makes it.
But no, really, as a political scientist, America was never meant to be a two-party system. That's why we're falling apart.
Really?
It's never meant to be a two-party
That's
system.
interesting.
Go
Wow.
explain that to us.
Well, a two-party system gives you an illusion of choice. It's always one or the other.
Mhm.
But when America started out, you would have like 11 to 13 different parties. You had the Whigs, the late Whigs,
Right.
the new
Right.
Whigs, the
Right.
Republicans, the Federalists. Like we had all these different parties competing, winning, and needing to find a common ground. We've lost that in America. We give you the illusion of choice, especially with the Electoral College.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, here are your candidates. What if I wanted to say, damn, Heather, you'll be a great Secretary of State? You don't matter because you're not rich. You might be rich one day, and then they'll use your money for a special interest pack.
Mhm.
It was never meant to be a two-party system.
Wow.
That's why it's failing.
Wow. I'm
It
sorry.
seemed like it seemed like it fell
Kid in the
into
way.
this pattern that all energy fall into what they call it, the boson distribution. So all energy seem to fall into the same pattern where it'll get accumulated within like 2 to 3% and concentrated. Then the rest, the other 80-some% fall off. Is that what happened to us? Because now it moved to a rich game. You got to be a millionaire to even think about running. You can't just
That's
be
absolutely true.
An average Joe just can't say, like Kiki, we could never get Kiki in the presidency. He's going to have to either go sell his soul somewhere.
I wouldn't want to be no president anyway.
I'm just saying, so is that what happened to us?
I'm going to say something that may upset some of your viewers, and I do not apologize for it.
No, viewers expressed are
Okay.
those of the speakers and are not
Okay.
intended to represent
Yeah,
WRFU,
so speak your mind on that.
UCIMC, or
This your-
Venice
this your
Social
spot. Go
I'm
ahead.
working on it.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the president America deserves. He is the president America deserves. America had Barack Obama and said, look how far we have come. Look how liberal we are. Look what we have overcome. Hooray, America wins. And then you had these people come out of the woodwork and said, nah, that was too much. That was one step too far. America thought racism was over forever with Obama. And by Donald Trump winning and he drawing that racism out, America must now face itself
So it's
and say, we have not come as far as we thought we have.
Amen.
Yes, because you have people saying, we all know this college scandal. Oh, affirmative action this, reverse discrimination that, woo, woo, woo. But there is centuries upon centuries of things going on. Like, America, Trump shows the base violence of America.
No,
He's
what-
rich. People trusted him because he was rich, even though they aren't.
Yep.
Yes.
And he was racist. He was openly racist.
Yes.
You can openly say these things. You don't have to hide the door,
Yep.
close it when Grandpa here because you know he says the N word.
Right. Right.
Trump has brought all of that out. Now you got liberal America saying, "Damn, where did that come from?"
Right.
But that's always been here.
Yeah, it's
I
always
agree.
But without Donald Trump, they didn't have to acknowledge it.
I agree with
Yes,
you to some
yes.
point. I agree with you to some point. But look at it. They swept a lot of stuff on the rug when Obama was president on racism. There was a lot of racism stuff going on with Obama.
Absolutely.
A lot of news. See, the media, the news media, they're the Pharisees. You know what I mean? Because the Pharisees control things. And so they control what you hear, what you want to hear. So, but look at it now. All the Democrats is all in the racial thing. Look at the Democrats down in Virginia, all that racial stuff they doing. The rapists and all that too now.
Oh yeah, blackface.
So, yeah, and all that. So you just can't say Trump. Like you say, America was not designed for two parties. Like you said.
But you got people who would defend and still vote for those people, even though they did that,
Yeah.
only because they say they're Democrat.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
But see,
Who honestly represents
Thank
you?
you. Thank you. Oh,
I
they didn't
see
do that.
this
They-
as a global thing. This is something happened globally because Germany got a guy running that's like a Trump. All these countries. So you see it. I believe in age of spirits, just like the 70s. That was like an age of. We got a spirit on this age right here, and it's rising fast.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of like we headed to like this, like in the movie when they head to the final conference.
Mm-hmm.
It feel like that. That's how I feel.
I think you're very wise in that observation because it's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
There is a pendulum. All you have to do is pay attention. If America would only pay attention to something besides America,
Right.
because just like you mentioned, Germany's become more conservative.
Yep.
Italy has become more conservative.
They got one over there.
Spain has become more conservative. And you've got South American dictators that have become more conservative, as well as the Irish and the British.
Yeah.
When was the last time all those countries united?
That's what I'm talking about. That was what,
World War II.
Yep.
So that pendulum is
who
swinging.
who was president then?
What, in World War II?
Truman dropped the atomic bomb and Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
So
Roosevelt.
Oh, you going into
I just wanted somebody. I just probably got somebody that think like I think sometimes.
Yeah.
What was Roosevelt?
Man, what was he? Democrat?
Was he?
Was he?
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
it was.
He was Democrat.
So
He was a Democratic socialist.
What's the difference between Roosevelt and Donald Trump, Republican socialism?
Republicans don't believe in socialism at all.
That's what Donald Trump tell y'all though.
I mean,
He's more of a fascist. I can see him as a
he's
fascist.
definitely a fascist.
Yeah,
People don't understand
I think
socialism.
exactly. So if you don't understand, so how we know they're doing it?
Okay, we're currently living in a democratic socialist society. That's why when people say, "Oh no, Bernie Sanders is a socialist," I laugh at them because they've obviously never read the definition.
Mm-hmm.
Socialism gives you things like an independent radio show.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you things like buses, mass transportation, public libraries, a public force to defend your interests like the police, a public force to help you if your house burns down like a fire department.
Donald Trump brought all that back
They
out.
gonna fix your
Racism.
roads, right? That's socialistic. Democrat just mean you vote for who's in charge and they make the rules.
Right.
The socialist part of us say, but let's generally help each other.
Right.
The Democrats just be like, no, we just gonna keep this money, do what we do.
We try to take care of you.
The Democratic Socialists is like, come on, let's build it back up like we supposed to. So that's just my interpretation.
But we got
Okay,
something,
all right,
and we got
all
something
right.
new in the play here. We got
Hey,
neoliberals in here. Neoliberalism is the new kid on the block. Well, he was the old kid, but he was disguised. So now that's globalization. So we going into some whole different things here, but I'm gonna let y'all go here. Let's get back.
Man, we
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 got
that conversation.
we got an educated one here,
we
man.
got
Shoot.
oh
We gotta take
yeah.
advantage of. We gotta take advantage of this, bro.
We need
start-
to
if we
recap.
start getting
Man,
into
we gotta take advantage of
neoliberalism,
this, man. We got.
then you'll be looking at all these other
Hey, we might wanna book up for the rest of the
especially
month.
from Hillary and all that stuff.
Hey,
Man.
we got a good one here, man.
It
Man,
get
we're
deep.
gonna take advantage of
I'm
all this
free.
here. Hey, well, let me Champagne Urbana and people that listen all over the world. Let me check this out. WRFU is open forum for the Urbana, Champagne, and our online community. Views expressed are those of the speakers are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. So what we talk about, we're not trying to offend no one. We're just trying to bring what we think is our truth, things that we think we know, and try to bring out awareness of people that's listening to us. So don't get offended. When
And just
said
recap what we were
we was
talking
talking.
about.
We got a good sister, Shanti Fowles.
Yes.
Y'all need to Facebook her,
She deep, man.
Google her, follow her on Facebook
It's all right.
and on Instagram. Because
Yes.
this sister is this is the second one we have
Beautiful
here.
inside
Yeah,
and out.
but she's very intelligent and
Yes.
she's speaking some stuff that a
Yes.
lot of people don't want to hear.
It was almost like a hush as
And
soon as she started speaking
And
some
she's a
stuff.
great poet too. She got some great poems.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know it's going down in here today. It's going down in
Yes.
the video. So back. We're gonna slow this. We're gonna make a curveball. I want to hear about this love thing. I don't know why see. All I want to hear is for a certain person because she don't want to hear it. But I want to hear about this love thing.
Okay, I will read Unloved.
Yeah, read that. Read
Ooh,
that
I
for
like
somebody.
unlove. I like unlove.
Read that for somebody so they can hear love thing. I try to get my.
You might not like this one.
Ooh, I like all poetry if it's telling the truth. It'll make you sad or happy.
Images and dreams rise from the mists of memory, reminding me that I was not always a loved woman. I was slumming in the depths of an inferior love, ripped apart by the reflection of love, a mirror image of now of which I am sure. I reach through the mist and caress that girl, telling her she deserves so much more. Not a whore, not useless, not deserving of his screams, not a bore, lifeless, as he takes away her dreams midstream before they fully realized. I reach out to that woman, wipe the tears from her brown eyes that have seen more pain than kindness. The blindness that engulfs her is profound. See her drown, watch her pretend that this is love. Watch her scream out and defend her hostile love, because this is the only love that she has ever known. Stuck beneath the feet of a tyrant when she deserves a throne. Laughing hard to release the pent-up tears that she is not allowed to cry. Singing softly, praying softly that she would slowly die, because no matter how hard she tries to convince herself otherwise, she knows that this is not love. Maybe, just maybe, this is as good as it gets. This false semblance of love, a life of regrets, marred by insults, cloaked as wisdom, bitten by lessons, heaping venom from a woman who was supposed to teach her love, supposed to teach her how to receive love and how to give it in return. But instead self-doubt and submission was the lesson that she learned. And now she struggles every day to receive love in a way that surpasses her wildest dream. Damn, it's so funny how the little things unknowingly affect us every day. How one persistent example can lead us astray without so much as causing a ripple. How fickle life can be. Oh, how I yearn to go back and speak to that girl so she can see love is so much more than this. Yet I am unable to, because she exists within the depths of me. That girl seems so lost. She seems so unreal. Hard to imagine that back then I could feel unloved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the key thing, though, right? That it wasn't
Shanti
love, right?
Files blowing everybody's mind.
Right, Miss Files?
I guess you're right.
So that
I'm not saying. Mine, you
break
said
that one. You gotta break
said.
that one down. Break
Break it, because
break
listen,
that one down.
but the key thing she said in that poem, she thought love is not like this.
Exactly.
And that's so the key thing wasn't love. Right?
She was a little girl, so it's
She know what love
It's a
was.
woman
Yeah.
who knows love,
And
talking to
talking
herself as a little
as a
girl.
Girl that thought she knew love.
Exactly.
I know.
You got it. You got it.
Why are you
Give me a high
looking
five.
over
Give me a
here?
high five. Give me a- I'm trying to tell you that your poem, but you don't want to listen to me.
Whatever.
That's my baby girl. I be trying to uplift her.
Whatever. Just keep it
break
rolling.
down to
Don't.
it. Break it down to it.
Oh, it's just having a variety of experiences. You know, when you're a teenager, you're like, yeah, I got a boyfriend and I love him. And then, you know, you become an older teenager and you're like, yeah, I got a boyfriend, but I don't know. And then it's kind of like in your 20s and you're like, okay, you're starting to get an idea of what you want and what you need. And then you find that one. I didn't find that one. He found me. Because I went after him. Wasn't his style. He needed to come after me.
Let's
Yes.
go back. You said first you had to find what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So you wasn't able to lock
Need the
in.
mic, okay?
Okay. You wasn't able to lock in, or he wasn't able to lock in until you identified what you needed.
Exactly. Until I identified who I was. Because dating is meant to be an experience, and it doesn't have to be a sexual one, although it can be that. But the whole purpose of dating is to learn what you like, what you don't like, and what you need and what you don't need. So it's like through the process of dating, you can say, I like that he's passionate and adventurous, but he got a temper. I like that he's stable, but he kind of boring. And you learn these things by dating different people, right? And so you have this good idea of you know what you want, and because you know what you want, it makes you more confident as a woman.
Yeah.
And then this man see this confident woman and say, hey, she doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
He was able to lock in because you saw it first. It's almost
I
like
did.
once you saw it, then the other people could see it.
The vibe just got to
Right.
him. It's
Just-
like a
just-
magnetic pull.
yes.
And I like how you said. I really love. Well, I love it when you said the part about sex.
Shot. That's a bad shot.
And I try to tell people that when I talk to people, if you rely on sex in a relationship, you're gonna fail.
Definitely. And this is where men and women think differently. Okay, so a man think, and it's not necessarily a negative thing, but y'all reward is sex. The company, the food, the taking care of, all that secondary. Your ultimate reward is sex. For a woman, cookies.
Yes,
I call it what I call it. Food
For
daddy.
a woman, the ultimate goal is love.
Yeah.
And so a woman is willing to give her body to you via sex to feel love.
Yeah.
But you equating that sex with sex, and sometimes we as women equate that sex. I'm giving you this sex to show you that I care.
Care for you. How the saying go? Is it? And I'm saying this right. Men love to have sex, and women have sex for love.
That's absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
But women can love sex too.
Yeah. It's like. See, the thing is though, if you build your relationship on true love and get to understand somebody, the sex is a bonus, man. And then if it's good sex, it's a good bonus.
But I mean, how long are you willing to take to let that happen?
But it don't take long, because you know once you start building something, and like you say, when you met your mate, I'm not trying to dig in all deep.
Go for it.
You know what I mean? When you met your mate, it's probably the first time was fireworks.
You know what? We dated 4 months and got married. And
Yeah,
we've been married for 13
See,
years
that's
now.
the fireworks is there. So then you know what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but would I tell my daughter to do that? Probably not.
Right.
No, because it's hard now. It's so much. Listen, like me, I'm a Morris American. We got a saying: truth is falsehood is strangely mixed. So it's so much falsehood trying to be mixed in with the truth. It's hard. You ain't gonna find that instant love. Like I never believed in love at first sight.
Okay.
I don't think it exists. But until you know somebody, because if you believe in love at first sight, you go off looks. And I always say the devil was the prettiest person in the Bible. Look how he was.
Oh yeah.
So I don't believe in love at first sight, but I believe in love and first communication. When you communicate with somebody and you hear somebody talking, you see the intellectual part of that person, and then y'all get to understand each other. And I believe in that type of love.
So do you believe in the energy of love?
Yes. But not love at first sight.
Because a love at first sight is kind of like the energy of love. Like, and I don't think love at first sight is a real thing. I think it's more like curiosity at first sight. Because it's more like, because it's your sight, but when you feel it, you know, like that we in class and I'm just close to you and I'm just like, what's going on? What's that energy?
But besides, but that some caught that made the energy come, like he might was saying something with his action or something.
No, he was just sitting there.
I ain't never experienced that.
Heather, you've met my husband. He's usually just sitting.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, see, me personally, I'm like been attracted to women in my past, and like, okay, but when they get to talking, and like, man, she's not intelligent at all. So that's like, nah, I'm not gonna hit it.
Well, that's why you talk to him.
Yeah. So
that's the older
about.
you. See, that's a guy who maturated. That's what you talking about.
That was younger than me too.
No.
When I was in the game, man, I ain't like.
Well, no.
What, you know what I mean? Conversation like, she okay, I can hit it. That's it. Alright, don't get me wrong, I would hit it, but it won't be nothing like.
But see,
keep it around. You know what I'm saying?
When the next guy comes and she mad because she really like you and she thinks she is an intellectual, it's like you already knew from get. This ain't gonna lead to nothing. But I just told you she's giving you sex because she's hoping for your love.
But if you tell them what it is, though, see that's what a lot of people, a lot of us mess up at, trying to get somebody, trying to get something from them. So if you tell somebody what it is, you can't change somebody's mind. If I change and that's what it is, it's what it is. It's a whole different conversation. If you're trying to go around that curveball and you really set yourself up for failure, you think, okay, well I can get with him and change him.
Right? Yeah, I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's all. But yeah, that's good. See, that's what love is.
I have a question. You dated for 4 months, got married, all right.
Had a honeymoon baby. She was literally born 9 months after we got married.
Like, you guys been together for, like, marriage, I should say, 13 years. I mean, with the woven and everything in between, I know it's been a struggle.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So is it more of, like, a communication that you need? More of, I should say, reinventing yourself, keeping it alive, you know, what is it with the love?
You got a couple of different things there because we jumped in and it was the smartest, foolish thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only time I completely trusted my heart 100%.
Mm.
And then I started to listen to my mind, and that's when I ran into trouble.
Okay.
So in the beginning, it wasn't like, oh, it was rough. We had a baby. He finished school. I said, hey, I'm a junior. I got one more year. I'm going back to school. But I was working, and he like, we don't need to lose that income. So my mother-in-law taught me, talk it to death. Talk it to death. I don't want to talk none to death. I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me how you feel, and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So this is how I learned to be an obedient woman,
Mm-hmm.
an obedient wife, because for years, even though as a married couple, we were supposed to be sharing these common goals
Yes.
and wanting the best for him
Yes.
and him wanting the best for me, I would say, yeah, I want the best for you, but I'm still going to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it always caused conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, he did something I didn't agree with. We moved to Iowa. I didn't want to go. But I said, I'm going to be obedient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with you there. And then we started to fall apart, and he could see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was obedient like I was supposed to be.
Right.
So we came back, and I mean, it's ups and downs, ups and downs.
Yeah.
We do fun stuff. Like he just took me to Denver
All right.
for my birthday.
Uh-huh.
It's never perfect.
Yeah.
I think we have like perfect moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then a kid will come in with diarrhea, vomiting.
Right. Right. Yes.
Ain't nothing
Yeah.
perfect in life, though.
Yes.
If you look for perfection, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Being together makes us,
Put that on there.
it makes,
Plug it again. Plug it again. Plug it.
he makes me my best version of me.
Yeah.
And I hope to make him his best version of him. I ran out of water.
Sorry.
They got a fountain
Hey.
around the corner. You want me to put some more in there for you?
Oh, I can do it.
Yeah, you the show.
She on the show.
Yeah, that's good. Who holding
Oh yes, that was Ariel.
Hey, Ariel.
But oh my gosh, I'm so happy and glad that you came through and showed up. You did have a book signing, and release, I should say. How was that like?
Oh my gosh, it was terrifying.
Mhm.
Kind of like doing this show.
Mhm.
No,
You doing a
but
good job, though.
Yes, very good.
one of the reasons, and this goes back to your last question too.
I like this chair.
So I was my student, like killing it for a while. Then I got married. I had to learn to become a wife.
Yes.
And then I had a child, and I had to learn to become a mother. And then I had to go back to being a student to finish my degree. And then I went to school to get a whole different degree. Like,
Right.
it was just a lot of back and forth. And the whole time I was still writing, but I felt like I couldn't be me. I always had to be wife, because your spouse come before your kids. Some people ain't gonna like that, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Your spouse come before your kids. I had to be wife first, mom, sister, daughter, aunt, and then in the wee hours of the night, there was music. You should write a book.
All right.
And my husband was like, "Go for it, do it." He made sure I stuck to my deadlines, and
Yeah, good
Yeah.
support team.
but I submitted it several times to large publishers and was rejected. So I said, "I'm gonna do it myself. Nobody's gonna tell me no anymore."
Yes.
So I'm doing it myself, and it's getting pretty good reception.
Good and great. Great. So even with the, I should say, the obstacles of publishing this book, you still were able to prevail and do it yourself.
I
Even
have
though
a
it's
dynamic support team.
hard. Yeah. Even though it's hard, it was still a challenge, I know, but you got it done. Who are you doing all of this for?
Girl,
I'm sorry, I don't know where I came up with that one, but
Well,
who are
so
you?
the whole reason I even have this amazing opportunity to sit here with you guys is because I talked to Rachel Storm and Brian Dolner. So I was like, I'd like to rent the IMC for a book launch, and he's like, sure, we'll meet for coffee. And Brian, we'll meet for coffee. And so Rachel comes in, hi, we're gonna do this, and this. You're gonna be big. And I'm just like, I just wanna rent a space. So having somebody who's never even heard you speak,
Yes.
show you confidence, I was like, that's God.
Wow.
I gotta do it.
Yes.
I gotta do it, and I do it for Black women.
All right.
I do it for
Yes.
Black girls.
Yes.
our voice.
Yes.
You don't hear our voice. You don't hear our voice.
No.
We are shut up.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, there's no poet who speaks our voice in our age.
Right.
I mean, we're small town, but I mean, like a big name somebody can name. And so I figured I'd throw my name in the hat. So I can hear my voice. I want to be like that Beyonce song when she say, I was here, I lived, I've learned, I was here. That's
All right. Yes. Ariel says she's so proud of you.
Thank you, Ariel.
Yes. This is amazing. I'm glad you came through because, I'm sorry to say, but some people do, cancel and stuff like that. But I just was like, I'm glad you showed up.
Glad to be invited.
I'm glad you came. Even though you said you were, like nervous and stuff like that, but it doesn't even seem like is this your first time doing something like
yes.
this? It doesn't seem like
oh, thank you.
Get used to it. It doesn't seem like it at all. And you are amazing. The energy in here has been wonderful and great.
I'm so glad.
Seriously. I know we're not done yet. We're not done. But I just want to, say thank you guys for tuning in to Conscious Community Connection. We are in the building with Ashanti Fowles. We have talked about her and how she has prevailed and actually submitted to the world, I should say, a book full of poems. It's called Woven Perspectives of a Black Woman. These poems are wonderful. These poems will take you there, in and out of your feelings. The love, the life, the struggle, the good times, the bad times, the ups and downs, ins and outs. I think you read 3 poems today? 3 or 4?
Yes,
oh my goodness. Those were great. Those were great and wonderful. So if you tuned in kind of late, you can rewatch this later on. I will put it on YouTube eventually. But thank you for showing up. It is kind of still early. I'm just still saying thank you for showing up. Can we get the disclaimer, mister?
Yes, ma'am. WRFU is an open forum for Urbana Champaign and our online community. Views expressed are those of the speakers that are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. So, you hear something you like, we don't mean to offend you. This is for the views, our views, nothing personal. That's something we learn, we try to teach. Open awareness.
All right. Your husband is watching, and he said, "Good job, baby."
Thank you, Ryan.
Yes. Hey, Ryan. She doing wonderful.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
She's doing a heck of a job.
I'm so humbled. It's like I did this as like a personal goal. Like, yes, I published a book. Now what? I was totally satisfied, and then my husband said, "Well, now you sell it." So I'm so glad you guys have me here just to share what I've created.
Where can everybody find you? I know it's still early, but where can everybody find you and your book?
The title of my book is Woven Perspectives of a Black Woman. I am going to release it to Amazon at the end of this month. You can find it on my website. Yes, it'll be downloadable. You can find it on my website at www.mytruenorthartistry.com. Again, that's www.mytruenorthartistry.com. And I also have a Facebook page called My True North. So check me out.
All right. Yes. Yep. Wonderful. Earlier, we also talked about some political stuff. We talked about love, marriage type of stuff. What else you want to talk about, Kiki? Any other community stuff? You want to talk about community stuff? Okay. Unification, I should say. So are you involved with anything? Are you involved in the community? Are you doing some volunteer work? Are you gonna, do anything in the future? you know, maybe give us a little, you know, outlook on
Okay.
maybe like 3 years, 5 years or
Okay,
something?
sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Wow, that was a big question, and I'm so
Okay.
glad you asked it. My biggest project that I'm working on right now is because of the fabulous Urbana Arts and Cultural Commission. I won a grant.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and they are giving me a grant to start a writing group for middle school girls of color. So if you have a middle school girl of color at Urbana Middle School, this will be a free program. And I started writing at a young age, and it literally saved my life.
Yes.
And so I would love to teach these girls that their voices, first and foremost, their voice matters. Their voice is important. And then I want to teach them how to perform, because the way you speak is important.
Yes.
And I want to teach them how to share, because so often the things that we are told come from like our mothers, our aunts, and we've been shamed into not sharing. I want to teach them that, like, to have enough confidence to share. So that project is called The Riders of Oya. She's an African deity.
Right.
So that'll be starting this fall at Urbana Middle School, and it's free.
Perfect.
Yes.
What's middle school ages?
About 11 to 13, 14.
Okay, so you gotta go. They gotta go to Urbana Middle School to go. Or?
They do not have to attend Urbana Middle School to go, but my goal is to keep it Urbana based, since I received the grant from the Arts and Cultural Commission.
Oh, wonderful. We need stuff like this in the community, because lately I've been seeing a lot more, you know, boys and, you know, young men groups and stuff like that, where we used to have a girls club back in the day, but, you know, that wiped out, and all we have is Boys and Girls Club, but we don't have a lot of the younger ladies clubs,
Teaching the young ladies something.
you know. So that is wonderful. Is there a sign up for this?
We're going
What's
to have a
going on?
Facebook page. We're going to do a big sign up. I hope to be there during registration this summer, just to let our girls participate in something. Cost shouldn't be an issue. Transportation shouldn't be an issue. We are going to meet where we need to be, because girls' voices are important. And this is the nurse part of me coming out, but it's like a lot of parents don't realize what a tender age between 11 and 14 is. It's like, if you haven't had sex, you're going to have thought about it by that age. If you haven't had drugs, alcohol, or tobacco, you're going to have thought about it by that age. Most alcoholics have started drinking at the age of 13. That's middle school. And then we're talking about women in our bodies, and some girls being too afraid to ask for sex because then mommy will think I'm having sex. I was that girl. So we listen to our friends and we get in trouble.
Right.
So I want these girls to be able to write truly what's happening in their lives in a safe place with somebody who I hope can give them some wisdom.
Yes.
I'm going to have a life coach come in from Chicago. I have a social worker, Ariel. Like, I'm just really hoping for a lot of young women to take advantage of it.
Yeah, life coach right there.
Yes. Hey,
Yes.
we got to get you down.
Yes.
Yeah, life coach right
yes.
there.
Oh,
That'd
wonderful.
be.
Hush, I don't be doing
I can't
all
put.
that.
See, I can't do nothing right with
No,
her.
you can't. No, you can't.
I got a question.
Now.
I got a question.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, I'm happy.
Break down that name, the African name, the deity. That's a Orisha, right? That's one of the Orishas.
Not a. It is. It is one of the
Orisha,
Rishis.
Okay.
She's the writer. She's Oya. So I was like,
Is
I
that
need
Yoruba?
this.
What
No.
is that?
I don't know.
Is
I
it?
have to tell you how I found this.
Okay.
I was just looking for Google girl goddesses.
Mhm.
And who showed up? Athena, you know, all these Greek, Aphrodite, like Roman white goddesses. And I'm
Right.
like, so this is a book club for girls of color, so no. So I went into African deities, and I couldn't find one that focused solely on writing. And even that inspired me. God is so good, because I'm like, slam poetry is important because of the oral tradition.
Right. Right.
Because you
Oral learning.
must memorize some poems, because a person don't want to see this book in your face reading.
Right.
They want to feel your words, and by memorizing you can do that. And then I'm going to take it back to the body, back to the nurse side, psychologically. The rote practice that it takes to memorize a poem, the fine skill it takes to actually write.
Yes.
I was talking to, I don't know if I can say her name, but she's an administrator at Urbana Middle School, and she was telling me how our children struggle with writing. They can read,
Yes.
but they can't write because what do we do?
Yeah.
Right.
Or you can tell Google to type it for you. Or they literally learn something, do great that day, and then the very next day have forgotten it because there's nothing to engage that part of your brain to remember except video games.
Yeah, functional illiterate.
Right. I got you.
You know, a good book to read that tell you about sisters in Africa, the destruction of black civilization.
Oh yeah, Chancellor Williams.
Yeah, and strong, and some of the strongest dynasties that was in Africa back in the day were ran by sisters.
Yeah, but yeah, she's a.
That's a good book to read.
They talk about the Candaces in the Bible.
Yeah.
The Candikis, or
Yeah,
where that name came
it tell you about some of the strongest sisters that ran when the dynasty was when the dynasties were at their peak. They were run by I can't remember their names.
But Oya is like a goddess of the sea, of passion, lightning, thunder. You know, too often we trying to police our little girls' bodies because we think, oh, if I did that, I would look a certain way. Sometimes a child just want to dance. And if you go back to the continent and you see the dances, you don't think of them in a sexual nature. America has taught us to think of ourselves as hypersexual.
But like you said, it's the time. Like my cousin, man, somebody called me the other day and talking about my cousin on Facebook, snapping out about some girls had their kids on there dancing all crazy. But you gotta look at the time. You know, you got these little girls dancing like that, you know, gyrating their hips stuff. You got sexual predators out there. Then a lot of people A lot of people ain't functioning. But what you doing, like in a monitor environment, you can teach them type of dance and what their true meaning is. But if they just look at these videos and all that, that's called money shaking, booty shaking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, it's the time and the audience how you teach them. Now you put them in that monitor environment, explaining stuff like that. A lot of African dances are sexual.
No, they are not.
Not like, boy, they move their hips and stuff.
That is traditional
I
dance.
know that.
No, I'm going to challenge you a little bit because I understand. I have daughters. I have 3 daughters. I understand your concern. You don't want them to make it easy for the predator, right?
Yeah.
But it's always going to be easier for the predator because you're telling the victim, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. Tribal dances have been gone back centuries, and some of the earliest footage are women still gyrating their hips.
Yeah.
No bras, they're exposed. You see any men running after them trying to rape them?
Because they knew to understand the teachers was there.
No, America taught us
that
if you do the things that you have been taught to do, you will be treated this way in return.
But your sexual predators.
It's
like me, for instance, right? I never forget this. My daughter Davis was a cheerleader. It was in 2005. 2005. My daughter Davis was a cheerleader for Azarelli Colts, and they was out there dancing. And she had a solo part. They like, I son, you ain't gonna like that, man. You know you look. I said, what you talking about? Because she don't want her to do a split. And they had her dancing. I went out there and stopped the dance. Oh, no, mine can't dance. Yeah.
Okay, so if she was a gymnast and she did the split, would you have responded the same way?
I didn't stop from the split. I stopped from where she moved her hips for being an 11-year-old child. How they had her there dancing, shaking her butt. I didn't care about the split. Why she got the solo part? Because she can do the split.
So you're thinking of her sexuality instead of her athleticism.
Yeah.
So your child, how old is she?
She's 24 now.
I mean, when this happened,
it was she was like 11.
So this 11-year-old girl says, "My daddy's here, my big game, and I'm going to show him how athletic I am." But all daddy saw was hypersexuality. She didn't do nothing wrong.
Daddy was having.
But that's what I mean about policing young women.
And
America has taught us that things that come naturally are wrong.
And since you told me that,
we've bought into it.
Yes.
And I agree with you now.
And now
how you broke it down to me.
That's hoes.
I was wrong.
Yes.
I was wrong.
That's hoes twerk.
Because how you broke it down to me, I listened to you. I was wrong, but I didn't know no better. I was thinking at the time. I just thought, you know what, turn of it. Oh no, mine can't have that dance like that.
No.
Not mine. Yours can, but mine can't. You know what I mean? I was wrong.
And see, that's the other problem. You're willing to sacrifice one for the other. Why can't all the girls make it? Why can't all of our young brown girls make it?
That's deep.
And you know what I was thinking about recently? I'm going to have to blog about this. www.mytruenorthartistry.com. I'm going to write a blog about this.
Okay.
What makes me special? It's like, I'm a child of God. I'm tremendously blessed. I have this book, and I want to say I'm so special. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, of other black women who went through more struggles, the same struggles, that haven't reached this point. So what's stopping you? Take it. I'm tired of sitting waiting for somebody to tell me it's okay.
Yes.
Take it.
Yes. Yes.
And when I told my husband, I said, I got rejected again. We're going to have to pay for this and publish it ourselves. He said, I got your back. Because I've had his back.
Yes.
He told me to take it when I felt like giving up. The world ain't going to give you nothing. He said, you're not only black, you a woman. Take it.
Take it.
So to all my ladies of color out there, take it.
Take it.
Take it. Take it.
A comment from Carmen. She said, it's not the dance that's the issue. It's the reasoning behind the dance.
She has a point there.
You know?
Yeah, I see.
So, but at the same time, you know, they were taught to dance this way, in which they only dance certain ways around certain people.
See, now it's like booty shaking money maker. You know what I mean? They promote that type of stuff.
It was like that when we was teenagers too.
I know, it's like that. It ain't not, it just got more, it's just more out there now.
Because we've got more technology now, more media now.
Everything just getting more advanced. It's still, but some of that stuff is just more and more out there. But back when we was coming up.
But I'm glad she did say that in
she
Africa, they have their breasts out and they're gyrating too, doing a different thing, but the lyrics aren't.
Exactly, and that goes back to
booty, booty, booty.
And I like
so then
we
got
are
a bigger
doing
problem.
the same thing, you know. But at the same time,
when I said it was sexual. I like how you corrected me when I said that.
But just
that was
like
smooth,
you
though. That was
said,
good. You're right.
You brought up a good point. The lyrics, the content does make the difference.
Yeah.
So who's making the music? Who writing the songs that the rappers are rapping?
Yes.
Right.
Not all of us.
Yes. Great point. I'm glad.
down with that comment. I
like
feel
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
Carmen,
point.
who's that?
Carmen Sims.
Carmen Sims. Good job.
Great point. Yes, but I do understand that now, you know, you have the twerp, or, you know, work, you know, that type of thing. And that's encouraging girls to dance to that particular song, you know, and which the content does portray that you need to work for this dollar and you're doing the booty shaking. But if you took the actual lyrics out and have just the instrumental, it could be seen just innocent. You get what I'm saying?
And then
No, not twerking. If you look at some of those African dances, when they doing all of this,
Brazilians dance this way, Indians dance this way, but black women are the ones who got the bad rap.
Wow.
So again, I'm going to ask you, what has happened in America?
Yes.
Because Indians dance this way.
Yes.
They wear shells on their abdomen.
Brainwash.
Right?
Hawaiians too. Look at the Hawaiians.
Hawaiians dance this way. Yes. Africans dance this way. And Brazilians dance this way in Carnival. But everybody wants to go to Carnival because they like skin with straight hair.
Yep.
They own the music, they own the TV, shaking the same parts. But when a black girl does it, it is bad. It is hypersexual. You deserve whatever coming to you.
Yeah, you right too. You right too. Cause remember when Miley Cyrus out there twerking, it was a big thing. Now it's just bad. Remember? Oh, Miley, she's on CNN for twerking. Look at she twerking.
She tried too hard.
Oh my, ooh.
Now,
she tried too hard.
Bringing up Miley Cyrus. On one part, there's a good thing about it because now they are celebrating curves that are usually associated with women of color. Because at first the other group didn't have these. Now you're seeing more of this now. Now everybody like they even get Brazilian butt lifts.
So
man, I've been in Texas and I seen Caucasian girls who went and got these things, and in Atlanta, everybody's now want a butt
because
at
Kim
first
Kardashian.
J-Lo did it first.
J-Lo.
Because they wouldn't let a black woman with that booty come in. But they'll let a non-brown woman, a non-person of color with that booty come in because it's exotic.
They try to say Janet Jackson was
On
fat.
you, it's trash, but on her, it's exotic.
Oh my God! Look at her butt.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
great point. I have to bring this up right now while we're talking about that. Middle Child is J. Cole's hot single right now. At the end of his video, it's a white lady in the store pushing a cart. She picks up an actual face of a black girl. How do you guys feel about that? Since we're talking about the fake, the booty, it's not okay. But now, this white lady is walking in there, picked up the face, this black face with the eyelashes, the eyebrows on fleek, all of that stuff. She puts it in her cart and she's just going about her business. You know?
So she buying
it's a message. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That our culture is for sale.
Yes,
it is something to be toyed with. It can be picked up and put down at any day. So then the question becomes, who is the protector of our culture?
Right.
I don't know.
Who is the protector?
I know I am. I've
Me
assigned
too.
myself
You got certain
responsible.
protectors. You got certain people that giving it away. Like the man said, you got culture vultures. You got protectors.
Yes, and then you got some
you got protectors like J. Cole. You got protectors like what's the sister name? I can't think her name, man. She be on YouTube a lot. I played that one time. Remember?
It was a poem.
Man, she was talking about
or whatever.
The feminists trying to recruit her. That's the Caucasian. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of protectors out there. See, the thing is, we use this internet stuff for all the wrong reasons.
Not all of us, though.
No. But 85% of us do. But
not all of us.
85%.
I don't think so.
I do.
I think we were taught to believe that.
Go
Because
ahead.
this is the best thing. This one, it's like when the telephone was first invented.
Yes. We on the
You gonna
something.
have them people who stay on the line with their friends, but then you can also go have that person with
That's
the phone
right.
call
That's
save
right.
their life. You know.
But I know, I understand that. Why I say 85? But a lot of people, they promote more negativity than they should.
I agree, but
So,
it's not about what they're doing. It's about how you respond and what you're doing.
Like I say, but you got a lot of people out there protecting this culture. Like you got a lot of people don't like. You got Honorable Minister Farrakhan protecting this culture. He go about a way that people don't understand, which I do, because the European brainwash a lot of us to go against him. He protect his culture. He is for us.
I'm going to read some real quick. Carmen Sims says, look at the message in movies and TV. Women are taught from a young age in America that their worth is defined by someone's want for them sexually. It goes back to slavery and who got to be in the big house and who didn't. She said, don't get me started.
No,
but
get started.
you know,
Come on the show,
that
Carmen.
is absolutely
She
right.
right, yeah.
You know, it was the fair skin could actually be in the
Light
house.
skin, yeah.
You know, I know my family was probably in the house because, man, we got some light skin on our family.
Okay, so we got to talk about this.
You know?
This thing. It goes back to that whole American, lie that if a person of color made it, it's because they are special. And how I think we are all special and we just got to take it.
Yes.
So, I'm light-skinned. My kids are light skinned. My husband's black, but my daughter got green eyes. So, and I have dark skinned sisters. And as kids, it used to be, oh, you light skinned, you know, and you were like, oh, I'm the pretty girl, you know what I mean? And then when you become conscious as a light skinned woman, you see how hard it is for the dark skinned woman. But ain't nobody crying over the light skinned girls who have to negotiate almost passing. There's no love for the light-skinned girls who conscious and want to help because you light-skinned, you must have a bad attitude. Light-skinned women have learned to negotiate a society where they are neither wanted, by the dark-skinned black women or the white women. So some light-skinned girls be the light-skinned girls, you know. But I use my consciousness and my intellect to be like, we all women. We all women.
What was that movie?
Spike Lee.
No, the one movie with the girl. Mama was dark skinned and she was light skinned. She was ashamed with mama.
Oh,
Dang,
It was an older one.
That's an
it's an
old.
old
movie.
movie.
I
I
think
can't
I
think
seen
of
it.
Her mother was a maid.
Maid, yeah, but she just disrespect her mama so bad.
Yeah, I think I seen
No, my mama would have beat me.
Mine.
But no, it's like it started in slavery, and
Yeah.
if you light skinned, you have a better chance at getting record deals, movies, jobs. Like, I'm not ignorant to that, and I would be ignorant to not use it to my advantage
Well,
because I'm still black.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing with dark skinned men. Y'all women don't want no brown skin.
No. Hold on. I love black men. I'm sorry.
Come on.
And I love them chocolate too.
Exactly. Dark skinned men always got the women. Think about it. Denzel, Wesley Snipes,
And neither one
Morris,
of them are attractive.
Morris Chestnut, but they were dark skinned. That what was in. Dark skin, chocolate thunder. You had
So you're
God.
talking about mating responses to popular movies.
It was called Beloved.
No, was it? Thank you. I like her. She's smart.
Beloved.
She
Is that that's a
It was a movie.
right? Is
It was
there
a
a book
book.
too? I love the book. I don't think I love the book.
But no, I'm just saying. But we all talk different ways. Like you said, light skinned and dark skinned. You know what I mean? That's the training. The training we got.
So the training, the stuff that we was taught, things like that, in which they could have been lies, and most of them were lies, whatever it may be, some of that stuff we need to unlearn, right?
Yeah.
How do you unlearn something?
I don't know.
See, we had
It's
the
not
concept-
possible.
We had the concept
I
before.
think you have to acknowledge it, and transform it, and move on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can't unlearn. You got these fabulous fro, right? Can you unlearn how to make your fro be fabulous?
No.
No. But one day you can use a different product,
Yes.
and you can straighten it to turn it into something else.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
fact that you've had a fabulous fro does not go away, even if you cut all your hair off. These things cannot be unlearned.
You say
Okay.
go full circle with it, bring it to a circle.
Yes, we have to acknowledge that it was there. Just like, some white people are like, oh, and you don't do this, you can't learn that because your grandma's on welfare, your mom's on welfare, and you're on welfare. It's not about unlearning. It's about, okay, I'm on welfare, but
Just break the
I'm
cycle.
about to go ahead and go to just junior college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and get me a house on Section 8, and I'm going to take this free food. I'm going to get this free training, and then my baby won't be on welfare.
Right.
It's like, don't be afraid or ashamed. Too many people
Yeah.
living in shame of getting help.
Yeah.
You get your help if you need your help. The
Free system.
tough part is don't be stuck there. Take it.
Yeah, don't stay there. Don't
Get
stay
your
there.
help.
Yes.
Maximize on the system that was not built for you. It never will.
Right.
Maximize on it
Yes.
and move on. Because the best thing you can do
Mm-hmm.
for those people who owe you on welfare is stay where you at. They want you to stay where you
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
They want you to stay where
exactly.
you at.
Oh my gosh. Preach.
I don't know.
Shoot.
Oh, like I said, WRFU is an open forum for the Urbana Champaign and our online community. Views expressed by those of the speakers are not intended to represent WRFU, UC, IMC, or Urbana Socialist Forum. Preach, sister,
Thank
preach.
you, Carmen. She said propaganda.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Hitler taught you that. The propaganda machine he put on in Nazi in World War II.
Mm-mm.
Who before Hitler?
Americans told Hitler.
Yeah.
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 Americans
It was
told
Ever
Hitler.
Bernays. That was his name.
Yeah.
He was
Sound like her, because she be getting me
he
right on
was
point.
the what's his name? The psychologist. He was Sigmund Freud's nephew, and he came back here to teach the companies about how to run propaganda. His
yep.
name is Edward Bernays. Look him up. Deep, man.
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
dude.
We taught them how to rally them up and put them somewhere. We did it to the Indians on the reservations, and they did it to the Jews.
Yeah.
Right.
And Hitler
Yes.
even said that
Yes,
he learned.
yes,
He
yes.
learned from us.
He
Yes,
said he
yes,
learned
yes.
from us. Yeah. He
But
said he
even
learned.
with all that being said, you know how people just, so called, oh, Hitler's bad, Hitler's did this, did that. We were all a part of that.
Absolutely, we were complacent.
We were all a part of that.
We can't.
And no one sat back and,
We were
challenged that person
We were just as worse
until.
than them. 'Cause
Exactly.
We had segregation
Exactly.
going on over here.
Exactly.
Like you had us fighting the war, but we couldn't use the laundromat.
And then at the
Base.
time, the United States was very isolationist.
Yeah.
Like World War I devastated us. we were like, we ain't getting involved in this again. We just gonna look after ourselves. And then the whole world started falling in shit. And we're like, oh, I guess we can't just look after ourselves. And now we want to help everybody and not look after ourselves. It's like, how is it possible that you can give trillions of dollars to death or aid to Jerusalem? And people in Flint still ain't got clean water.
Exactly.
How you gonna build a border wall with Mexico?
Right.
And you got women with kids who work who still have to choose between a pad and some toothpaste.
Yes. And then you're separating the kids from their parents.
Families. Yes.
For what reason?
To retrain the children.
Yeah.
You
Make
get
them
them young enough, they can't forget.
Yeah.
They can unlearn.
Unlearn and teach them to depend on them.
Because
I am your savior.
that's how we did it with the Native Americans. They took their children.
That's right.
And they made them live with white families. And now many of those languages are lost. So what did Hitler do? He started taking their children. And now what is Trump doing? He's taking their children. Whenever you want to control a population, you start with the woman and you start with the child.
That's right.
They did that to us though.
Yeah.
It started with us way back in slavery. They took the children and women.
Do not conform.
You know what I mean? All that, what they call them, colonizers or whatever. And they did all that with us, and then they trickle on down. They used the same effects.
Because the system was built to, and Marlon was talking about this the other day in a room, and he was talking about how it was a report that actually states it was governed by the government that in order for the women to actually get funding, they had to not have
a man.
Yeah, that's true. They true.
You know?
Yeah, you can't have a man. That's still to this day, though.
Right. But he was just saying.
You can't have a man living in the house to get welfare. So if we're going to take care, you can't have no man there.
That's right.
But we ain't going to take care, you got a man in there.
And what's the purpose of the man?
Even though both of y'all broke.
And I know
you can't get no job.
I still know some of those government assisted programs going on still to this day.
It's the destruction of our families.
You're in, because I'm not in Section 8 anymore, so I can talk about it. So Section 8, you know what I'm saying? If you have a person over a certain age and they're male, you know, they must have, you know, certain things going on with them. They can't be a felon. You know, if they do live with you, you have to report their information. They need to know all these documentations.
It's like, what's the purpose of getting the man out the home? What does a man do? He protects, right?
Protects and leads.
So your man gone and you a woman. We strong, but men can physically overpower us. And they do. And then what do? They get the children. They get the children. There's something my uncle made me read. It's called the Willie Lynch letter.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if it's fictional or factual. It's fictional.
Yeah, the guy who wrote it, I'm going to break it down where he got it from, but go ahead.
But when you see the way they were taught to break down black families, they were very successful. They said you take the man, and please read it, everybody. I'm not going to give it all away. But you take the man and you beat the man and you beat him in front of his woman. And you show the woman how powerless he is. And then when the woman goes to her male child, she will say, never do that. Because as a woman, you don't want your child to be hurt. Right?
Right.
And so what you going to do, anything to save and protect your child, because your protection has just been taken from you.
Right.
Girl, you cry. It's like a 50-page little thing.
Yeah, it's a book.
But
And what's the guy, Shanti? What's his name? He wrote it, but
the guy from you said where it come from?
The Willie Lynch letter.
He got it
from
the
a brother.
Black Jacobians.
Yeah.
He because the letter was a breakdown. It was really a breakdown from a book called The Black Jacobians. And everybody need to read that. And it document slavery that was going on in the West Indies. And how they would do it. That's where he took all the methods from. Because the Black Jacobians book is pretty thick. But if he broke it down in a letter, he knew everybody would read it. He was saying this why he did that. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He came out, I got somebody out there. I'm bad with names, man.
Got some thing on there.
Yeah, Carmen says, ask yourself what happens when you put someone into survival mode.
Yes.
Divide and conquer is a rule of war.
Yes.
So why are we still fighting this war against ourselves?
And why do
We still divided, light skin, dark skin, you know?
The thing the other day that came up was I was trying to be online and do some like simple thing, and that was just bring someone in on my live feed, and guess what? I couldn't do it. I have Android, they have iOS. Divide, division, right there. Period, point blank. So I'm not able to FaceTime him because I don't have an iOS. He can't even get on my news feed or whatever it was because our phones aren't capable or compatible. And I really was like, wow, division. Just something so simple, division. And people want me to convert to the Apple, but I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I don't want that yet. You know?
You got the best thing
I don't want it. You know, but at the same time, it still comes down to division. Period. You know?
I agree.
And we were taught division.
We were taught it so well, and we're such exceptional students, we perpetuated ourselves. They don't even have to do it anymore.
Yep.
We teach it to ourselves, we teach it to our kids.
Yes.
They don't even have to do it anymore.
Unconsciously, don't even know we're doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna go there.
Go there.
Leave that alone.
Oh, we got 5 minutes of you
Leave it
you
alone.
rat. Come on, let's go.
Go ahead,
Because every
Go
time
ahead.
I bring it up, and like, nah, you doing this, but you know, even with the Bible, you know, even with how the Bible is divided, certain things, I just, you know, how they said that, you know, we are sinful. We talked about this the other day, but that word sin comes from where?
It was a term used to miss your mark, or not to be on target,
Okay.
or to be off, or not.
So we were born into sin, in which we are off our path, you know. But you know, they drill it in us so much, and so to the point where we cripple ourselves, even while we're trying to be this perfect person and not sin and not kill, not steal, not, you know, do all of these things, you know. And it's just so compromising sometimes that, you know, I don't know where I'm going at with this, but that's another division, because you're telling people to do certain things, but then at the same time, it was a sin for some of the people to eat meat on Friday or something, you know, and you were gonna die from this, you know. But we were taught that, you know, and that's not right. That's not right.
I think what it boils down to is the relationship you have with your Creator. Like, I'm a Bible believing woman. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior.
For sure.
I can sit and talk to my uncle who's a Muslim about Muhammad for hours, because the essential truths remain the same. Love your God and love your brother.
Yes.
And then God, he took it a step further and said, you can't love him and you see him every day. How is it possible you think you love me?
Amen.
So God is pretty much saying, like, you want to show me you love me? Show me how you love others. And the Bible says it through and through. I just try to love on people. And when you talk about sin, that upsets my spirit, because I feel like God is love. Think about your child. And my mother-in-law challenged me on this. There's nothing my child can do that will make me stop loving her. If she murders someone, I will be disappointed. I will be angry. I will always love her.
Right.
God created this whole universe.
Yes.
He know what the murderers went through, what the drug dealers gone through, what the crack addicts are going through. And he loves us. So I truly feel like sin in hell is a separation from his love. And that the Bible, as a writer, uses those words to say, God loves you so much, just to be away from him is torment. And that may be wrong. But that's how I see it.
Oh, we done had great connections in this hour and 30 minutes. I wish we had another 30 minutes. Literally, like, this is perfect. The energy is good. It's great in here. You got anything to say? No, go on. Take that out, man.
Man, listen.
What you got else to
This
say?
woman just broke down some stuff that I've been trying to say for the last 7 months. There's only one God and one Creator, man. It's how you worship Him and believe in Him, and you got to do your path and do it right for you. Not judge the way another person worship God, because the only thing you do is count your days. So follow your path to your success, and if it make you happy and truly happy, not just say you happy. If it make you truly happy, follow your path to God. All praise due to Allah.
Can you please go ahead and say whatever you need to say as far as like where you can find the book again?
Sure. The title of my book is called Woven: Perspectives of a Black Woman. You can find it on my website at www.mytruenorthartistry.com. You can go to my page on Facebook. It's My True North, or you can look for me on Facebook, Ashanti Files. And if you miss all of that, you'll be able to download it from Amazon at the end of the month. Thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Yes,
This was
Well,
very
thank you for coming,
great.
man.
Thank you, thank you.
Hope to see you back on our anniversary party.
Yes.
Oh, when's the anniversary party?
It's coming up.
All over.
Coming up.
And
Coming up.
yes.
All right.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. She said next time I'm jumping on the show, this was a good one. Carmen said. So, Carmen, you know you gotta hit me up.
How you do this stuff right here?
Hit me up. But, all right. See ya.